Let us ponder a question: what makes something rare? Is it the distance between it and the ordinary, the difficulty of its discovery, or the sheer wonder it evokes when finally encountered? The rarest women in the world are not defined by their separation from the rest of us, but by the paradoxical way they embody connection and solitude, simplicity and depth, gentleness and power. These women move through life as though they are in a dance with existence itself. Their rarity lies not in being different for the sake of it, but in their profound authenticity. They wear no masks, they do not conform to expectations that ask them to shrink their light or dim their essence. Such women are not loud disruptors, but quiet, unshakable forces of nature. There is a stillness within them, an anchor to a truth that cannot be shaken by the shifting tides of society. They embrace their individuality not as rebellion, but as acceptance of what is. Like the ancient oak that stands steady in the wind, their strength is gentle, rooted in an awareness of their wholeness. Yet it is not defiance that sets them apart. They do not fight to be understood, nor do they demand attention. Instead, they create harmony through their presence, a kind of alchemy that transforms the space around them. They understand that the world, for all its noise and chaos, seeks balance, not control. And they become the balancing act not by force but by being. These rare women carry wisdom that cannot be learned from books or fleeting trends. They have a timelessness about them, a knowledge born of deep listening and quiet observation. They see the eternal truths beneath the distractions of the moment, and they live by them. In their company, you are reminded of something you may have forgotten: the beauty of simplicity, the elegance of truth, the power of just being. And yet they do not seek recognition. The rarest women in the world are often hidden gems, not because they wish to hide, but because their value does not depend on being seen. They are rare not because they are unattainable, but because they have found something most of us have overlooked: the courage to be wholly, utterly themselves. So perhaps the rarest women in the world are not rare at all. They are simply reflections of what lies hidden within each of us, waiting for the moment we dare to look. What does it mean to be rare? In a world teeming with millions of faces and countless voices, we often confuse rarity with exclusivity, with something that exists far beyond our reach, isolated and unattainable. But true rarity isn't about being out of reach, it's about standing out, not for the sake of standing apart, but for the depth, authenticity, and resonance that these individuals bring to the fabric of life. The essence of rarity lies in an unshakable authenticity. Rare women do not follow the prescribed patterns that society often lays before them. They do not conform to fleeting expectations, nor do they allow themselves to be defined by external validation. Instead, they walk their path with a quiet confidence, not because they have all the answers, but because they have the courage to embrace their questions. They are not afraid to be vulnerable, to make mistakes, or to let the world see their imperfections. In their vulnerability lies their strength, for they understand that being real is far more powerful than being perfect. These women radiate a kind of beauty that defies convention. It's not the kind of beauty that fades with time, nor is it dictated by trends or standards. It is a beauty born from their depth of character, their compassion, and their inner harmony. They are like rare flowers that bloom in places others overlook, thriving not because they are tended to, but because they are deeply rooted in their truth. Rarity also carries with it a certain paradox. It is not loud or ostentatious. It does not demand to be noticed. It simply exists, quietly and assuredly, like a pearl hidden within a shell at the bottom of the ocean. Rare women are those who have learned to be comfortable in silence, who are at peace in their solitude, and who do not need to prove their worth to the world. They possess a magnetic quality not because they seek to draw others in, but because their energy resonates so deeply with those who encounter them. And yet, true rarity is not born in isolation. These women are deeply connected to themselves, to others, and to the world around them. They have an uncanny ability to see the essence of people and situations, cutting through the noise to uncover what truly matters. They listen with their hearts as much as their ears, and when they speak, their words carry weight because they come from a place of profound understanding. The essence of rarity is, at its core, the courage to be authentic in a world that constantly asks you to be someone else. It's the strength to remain grounded when the winds of change howl around you, the wisdom to know when to act and when to simply be, and the grace to carry yourself with dignity, no matter the circumstances. Rare women are not defined by their scarcity, but by the quality of their presence. They are not rare because they are few, they are rare because they choose to embody what is timeless, genuine, and true. In their company you feel something inexplicable, a deep sense of being seen, understood, and even challenged to discover the rarity within yourself. That, perhaps, is their greatest gift, the ability to remind us that what is rare in them also exists within us, waiting to be uncovered, waiting to bloom. What does it mean to be whole? In a world that constantly tells us we are incomplete, that we need something more to be enough, it takes an extraordinary kind of inner strength to stand firm in one's wholeness. The rarest women in the world possess this unshakable wholeness. It is not a wholeness born from perfection or an absence of flaws, but rather from the profound understanding that they are enough just as they are. This wholeness begins with self-awareness. Rare women are deeply connected to who they are, not in the sense of rigid identity, but in the fluid and evolving awareness of their essence. They do not derive their value from their roles, titles, or the approval of others. They know that their worth is intrinsic, not contingent on external circumstances. This self-awareness allows them to embrace every part of themselves, the light and the shadow, the strength and the vulnerability. They understand that their imperfections are not weaknesses, but integral threads in the tapestry of their being. Unshakable wholeness does not mean these women are impervious to life's challenges. On the contrary, they face struggles, heartbreaks, and failures like anyone else. But what sets them apart is how they respond to these experiences. Instead of seeing obstacles as proof of their inadequacy, they view them as opportunities to deepen their understanding of themselves and the world. They do not run from pain or discomfort, they sit with it, learn from it, and emerge stronger. This resilience stems from their groundedness. Rare women have a deep inner anchor, a sense of self that remains steady even when the external world is chaotic. This grounding allows them to navigate life with grace, staying true to their values and beliefs even when faced with opposition. They are like trees with roots that stretch deep into the earth, able to bend with the wind, but never uprooted by it. Their wholeness also manifests in their relationships. They do not cling to others to fill a void or seek validation. Instead, they connect from a place of abundance, offering their love and support freely without losing themselves in the process. They do not need to dominate or diminish others to feel strong. Their confidence allows them to lift others up while remaining firmly rooted in their own power. There is a quiet strength in their presence. They do not need to shout to be heard or demand attention to be seen. Their wholeness speaks for itself, radiating an energy that draws people in, not because they seek approval, but because their authenticity is magnetic. They are comfortable being alone, but also deeply connected to the world around them. This balance between independence and interdependence is one of their most striking qualities. Perhaps most importantly, these women embody a sense of inner peace. They do not waste energy trying to control what is beyond their reach. Instead, they focus on what they can influence: their own actions, choices, and responses. This acceptance of life as it is, rather than as they wish it to be, allows them to move through the world with a sense of ease and flow. Unshakable wholeness is not something these women are born with. It is cultivated over time through self-reflection, courage, and a commitment to living authentically. It is a journey of coming home to oneself, of shedding the layers of conditioning and expectation to reveal the core of who they truly are. In their wholeness, these women remind us of a profound truth: that we too are whole, even when we feel broken. They show us that our worth is not something we have to earn, but something we must remember. And in remembering, we too can find the courage to stand firm, to embrace our imperfections, and to live as the rare, unshakable beings we were always meant to be. Defiance is often imagined as loud, aggressive, and forceful, a rebellion that seeks to overthrow or challenge through sheer strength of will. But the rarest women in the world embody a different kind of defiance, one that is quiet, steady, and profoundly gentle. This gentle defiance is not born of anger or the need to prove something, but of an unwavering commitment to their truth, their values, and their essence. It is the defiance of living authentically in a world that constantly asks them to be someone else. At its core, gentle defiance is about refusing to conform without creating conflict. Rare women do not shout their resistance from the rooftops. They simply choose not to participate in what does not align with their inner selves. They defy societal expectations with grace, neither condemning nor glorifying them, but by walking a path that is uniquely their own. They understand that real strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it is as soft as a whisper and as immovable as a mountain. This defiance begins in the mind. Rare women are unafraid to question the norms, to ask why things are the way they are, and to carve out space for new perspectives. But they do not reject tradition or convention for its own sake. Instead, they sift through what they've been taught, keeping what resonates with their truth and gently discarding the rest. This process is not a declaration of war against the world, but a quiet revolution within themselves. Gentle defiance also manifests in their relationships. These women are kind and compassionate, but their kindness is not weakness. They do not bend to please others or compromise their values to avoid discomfort. They set boundaries with a firmness that is never harsh, but always clear. Their ability to say no with grace is a testament to their respect for both themselves and those around them. They understand that true connection can only come from a place of authenticity, and they refuse to engage in relationships that require them to sacrifice their integrity. What makes their defiance gentle is their refusal to meet force with force. They do not seek to dominate or impose their will on others. Instead, they stand firm in their truth, allowing their actions and choices to speak louder than words. When confronted with criticism or opposition, they do not react defensively. Instead, they listen, reflect, and respond with a calmness that disarms even the harshest voices. Their composure is a reflection of their inner strength, a strength that cannot be shaken by the opinions of others. This kind of defiance is also deeply rooted in self-acceptance. Rare women have made peace with themselves, embracing their flaws and imperfections as integral parts of their being. Because they do not seek validation from the outside world, they are free to live on their own terms. They wear their uniqueness with quiet pride, not because they want to stand out, but because they have no desire to blend in. Gentle defiance extends to their vision of the world.